Good. Hi, Dan. I'm Mike Manal from the Nerds of Color. How are you?
I'm good. I like your background.
Thank you so much. No, I had to be part of the Predator family. I appreciate this very much because I'm gonna fan out for a moment, Dan. Geek out for a moment. I've been a hardcore fan of yours since 10 Cloverfield Lane, man. You are one of the best storytellers in the sci-fi genre working today, and I couldn't be more grateful to talk to you right now, especially after the awesomeness of Killer of Killers. Thank you so much for bringing make glory back to the Predator franchise, my friend, with Prey and now Killer of Killers, and then Badlands later this year. I'm so excited.
Awesome. I thank you so much. I'm glad that you've stuck with me all this time and that you're digging what I'm putting down.
Oh man, you're just getting started too, sir. I'm excited for it. So one of the things that I was just really excited about is, this is an animated movie, but it's so gorgeous. The style reminds me a lot of kind of like Spider-Verse and sort of similar movies like it. And I have to ask, going from live action and now to the animated medium, what was that transition like for you, especially since you've done a live action Predator movie already, too, now, and got your hand at this animated version?
I think what's so great about the animated medium is that you get to iterate so much. It is not limitless, or it is not boundless. Like there still are limitations because my co-director Josh Wassung put it so brilliantly the other night, in that you you can build. Oh, this is the greatest. He said you can build anything, but you have to build everything. So all of our sets, all of our wardrobe, all of our actors, like there's nothing that you can just show up and point the camera at and that's right. Everything has to be built. So there still are limitations in budget and time. We can't have endless amounts of those things. You still have to pick your battles, and that very much creates creative problem solving. And in that way is very much live action filmmaking. And stylistically, um, I was encouraged, and Josh was very excited for us to still do something that maintained the cinematic sensibilities that I developed over the course of these few movies, um, and and shoot things still classically, but also indulge when it demanded it in the medium, and that has ramifications both visually and narratively. So like there's certain camera moves that are very strict, and it only would be if someone were to operate it. But there's also the occasional thing that I would never have dared to do in live action that feels so cool in animation. And the same thing narratively. I would never have stuck a pilot out on the wing of an airplane fixing it in the middle of a dogfight, or let that plane fly through the streets of Casablanca like a trench run in live action. But in animation, it feels really exhilarating and exciting, and love to indulge in the medium in that way.
That was so sick, by the way. Like, I gotta say, man, everything from every single story. There are these action sequences and just moments where in the theater I was just clapping like my hands together so loudly because they're just so badass. I can't imagine something like this being nearly as cool in live action, because everything was just so brilliantly done. There is, and I know you're gonna get this a lot, there is a post-credit tag scene, which I think you expanded on during the Q&A from the Egyptian Theater this weekend, saying that it's insinuating about the potential future of the Predator series. Is there anything at all, anything else you can kind of give us? Like, are you writing something new, or is something coming after Badlands that we're going to get excited about?
I mean, I'd be hard pressed to say if people didn't love this movie and loved Badlands that we would just suddenly stop. Of course, we'd love to make more. And what's cool about that is that it also widens out to not just cover the future of the franchise, but also go back and say, wait, that was happening perhaps all along.
Mhm. I love that. I'd also love to see if some of these characters in this movie make it into live action. That would be really kind of cool too. Is that
That's
something that you'd
cool.
like to see?
How would I not want to? That would be so cool to see. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That would be incredible. And speaking of cool to see, I can't wait for people to see Killer of Killers when it hits Hulu this Friday because it is just amazing. It is going to be awesome and it's one of the coolest things I've seen in animation in a long time. Dan, thank you so so much. I
Thank
appreciate
you,
you.
dude. Appreciate it.
Hey Josh, I'm Mike Manalo from the Nerds of Color. How are you?
I'm good. I like your background.
Thank you so much. Yeah, no, I had to be surrounded by my different predators. So there you
Yeah,
go. The killers
love
of
it.
killers.
Love it.
Yeah. Speaking of love it, I loved this movie. Every single second of this not only is gorgeously and meticulously and wonderfully animated, but it's also brutal, but it's also character driven, but it's also emotional. This was how you do a Predator movie. And
Thank
I
you.
loved it so much on the heels of a classic like Prey, a modern day classic like Prey. I just love that you guys are bringing the Predator back. I mean, like, God, you and Dan just did such an amazing job.
Thank you, Mike.
Um, of course, I gotta ask, can you talk about how you got started on your Predator journey? And I'm talking about your fandom and then now this project too.
Well, as a child growing up in the 80s and 90s, of course, I love all the classic Arnold movies and action movies of that era, and Predator being, one of the greats, and so it was just really kind of part of my, childhood filmmaking dreams. But honestly, it's when I met Dan several years ago. We started working together on a variety of projects, and he told me, he's like, "Oh man, I have this movie. It's called Prey. I'm coming up, and a long time coming, we got to work together on that for 2 years. And so I thought I was already a fan, but working on Prey, that's when I like really fell in love because I got to go, be immersed in it, but also got to, like you said, modern day telling. And that's what just like that when we talked about the very idea of doing an animated version, I just my mind, I just couldn't even handle it. I was so excited about it.
I love that. It's funny because you're coming from a world of visual effects, having been such a key player in Third Floor, and now into actual like directing. Can you talk about that transition and some of the challenges that you faced becoming a director from coming from a place that was exclusively visual effects and working with other directors?
So, a third floor is historically previs, which is very similar to visual effects, but it's not actually just visual effects because
My
it's
apologies.
more it's more focused on helping the filmmakers in every department plan for the whole movie. And
Hmm.
that includes story development, and it includes visual development, it includes, how to film something, what kind of camera. I mean, it's honestly an incredible training ground for filmmaking in so many different ways. So I'm really grateful for that experience, and I've been doing that for like 23 years now. And so then we got to work together in Previs, and Dan and I, and so then I got to learn his specific way of working and his taste. And that's when we discovered that we had very, very similar tastes. We were excited about the same things. So that really set it up. I mean, the challenge is just like, all right, well, how can you do so much at the same time? I mean, Dan was doing two movies at the same time, and I'm trying to, paint on one thing, but also give feedback on a performance on another, but also talk about the lighting. So it's like, as a director, you really have to wear many, many hats. So that was a challenge, but it was also invigorating at the same time.
And the nice thing about something like that is you're the fan and you're the visual effects, the previs person, and you're also the director. So you actually at least can make the story that you really want to make in
Mhm.
collaboration with someone like Dan. You've got that control. And I kind of like, as difficult as it can be, that sort of wearing of multiple hats just to make the art even better. My last
Yeah.
question to you, and I'll wrap up after this. Dan alluded in a Q&A recently on the future of the Predator franchise. Are you going to have a seat at that table, bringing that franchise to life, bring that universe to life that Dan's kind of cultivated and started with Prey?
Well, I mean, first of all, he's super hard at work on the next Predator movie, which comes out in November. So we definitely got to give him a little bit more time on that. But we definitely have talked about the enthusiasm around it and how much we love this project. So we'd love to explore what happens next. But really, right now, he's got a bunker down on this on Predator Badlands.
I understand. That is a great non-response that will not get you in trouble. I love it. But Josh, to focus at least on Killer of Killers, you guys have brought such amazing goodwill to this franchise, back to this franchise, and you've given something for us Predator fans to look forward to. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for this movie and for making this universe awesome again. We love you,
Wow.
Josh. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate it. It's
Of
so,
course.
so
Thanks,
exciting to
everyone.
hear.
In the lectures, fanboys, professional artists, and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The hard knock life, comics, movies, and TV. Yeah, pop culture with a different perspective. Watch it on your screen, hit play, so check this.